everyone. I am delighted to be here with Dr. Manish Chitnis, a distinguished dentist whose journey in the field has been nothing short of extraordinary. From the inception of his practice in Thane to building thriving dental empire across the UK and India, Dr. Chitnis' story is one of the inspiration and accomplishment. Today, we have privilege of gaining insight into his experience and lesson learned. Welcome, Dr. Manish. Thank you for accepting invitation to join the IDA Dombivli branch. I am Dr. Sumit Firke, the editor of IDA Dombivli 2024. Here, welcome you for to interview.
Thank
It's
you,
truly honor to have you with us.
Sumit. Thank you. You're very kind, and thank you for this invitation. I was really looking forward to catching up with you, anyways, and it's very humbling to be here. Thank you so much.
To begin with, Dr. Manish sir, could you please share a bit about your early days in dentistry and what inspired you to pursue career in this dental field?
Uh, as any teenager probably would look at various fields, I was the same. So there are probably only brilliant 5% in this world who know exactly what they want to do and why they want to do when they are in that teenage and they want to make a career decision. So my simple answer is uh, I was looking at the medical field. We already had 12 doctors in the family. So the parental and peer pressure probably, or the social pressure was, I have to be in medical fraternity. That was reason number one. Reason number two to select dentistry is out of all the 12 people who are selected medicine, somebody was doing orthopedic, somebody was doing GP, somebody was cancer, whatever it is. Nobody was a dentist. So I said, okay, that's the field left. Let me do dentistry because nobody is a dentist. I didn't want to be like someone in the family. So that was second reason. And third reason, which is the real reason, is one of my uncle was a dentist. I had seen his journey. I had seen his working pattern and the way he had professionally progressed in his journey. And there were some materialistic reasons for me, and that's the honest answer to say, this looks like a good medical field where I can earn a sustainable living. It looks nice, and I don't need to do night shift in hospital. So that probably is my answer to say that I went into dentistry because it looked comfortable and it gave me exactly what I was wanting in the materialistic kind of a sense. So there was no other reason about dentistry at that stage. That's probably the honest answer.
Okay. And whatever journey I'm seeing you, I think the major turning point for you was moving to the UK. What motivated you to move to the UK in 2004 and 2005, and how did the decision impact your career?
Um, I think a turning point wise, I would say there was a very comfortable life happening before UK. So until 2004, 2005, it had been good 8 years doing dentistry after graduation in Mumbai. So there has been something in my personal mindset or professional journey, which I think is the turning point, according to me. Uh, and the simplest words, I get bored within 36 months of doing something. That's the problem. And that problem persists for last 26, 28 years, whatever it is. So if I really look, starting dentistry in 1992, probably this is 32nd year. And the turning point always has been that every 36 months, something has to change for me. And that drive or something happens where I get bored of what I'm doing and a new plate needs to spin. That's the problem. So a lot of people or coaches also have told me, and I said, yes, I understand, but I thrive on changing the status quo. I thrive on discomfort. I thrive on stress, which people call stress. I don't. I thrive on probably making myself uncomfortable. That's has been the journey. So if you ask me turning point, it has been every 3 years, and something new has happened or I have created, and that probably one thing was UK. So changing from comfort zone to making yourself uncomfortable by trying to give all the examinations, living the clinic, working with the family and making changes and everything. Yes, it was a turning point in professional and personal stance. So I do agree. And I might have strayed away from your question, but probably the question was, why did you do that? Probably. And the answer is one which I've just given. And the second answer is probably grass is greener on the other side of the house, as we say. And we think that what I'm living now in India, say at that point, I was doing dentistry from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, then coming home for lunch and spending 2, 3 hours at home, going back again at 5 o'clock and working till 10, 10:30. So it was a life where there were not many hours in there in the day or spending with the family. So that time, the understanding was going to the UK and doing a 9 to 5, 5:30 kind of a job probably is very lucrative, and I can have social life and everything. Now, again, that's true and it can happen, but with your personal mindset and personal drive and ambition, you still can work up to 11 o'clock at night. That's the difference. But yes, I have to honestly say the work-life balance was much better. I could do much more than what I could do, what I was doing at that point in 2004, 2005. So probably a couple of reasons at that point, as I mentioned, where I made the change.
That was wonderful, sir. I want to know in the initial days of practice, like everybody is struggling now, and we used to say initially it was very easy to practice when there were less number of dentists. How was your journey in the beginning of your career?
I think I was in that mid phase where I was lucky. In a sense, when I started practice in a certain area in Thane city in Mumbai, India, at that time I was probably one of the two dentists in that 2 kilometer radius, and it was probably easier in 1997, 98 because I did my first patient actually even before I had done my inauguration and opening day. So I had gone to just set everything up, getting ready for the inauguration next day, and somebody walked in to say, "Can you do a filling?" And me being me, I said, "Yes, I can do it now." So I went ahead and did a filling even before inauguration happened. So answer to your question is yes, those times were easier. Competition was not as heavy as now after 24 years. So yes, I was in the golden probably zone where people were starting practices and building up practices within 3 to 5 years. And I think it all started changing after 2007, 2010. And it has got more competitive. And forget 1 kilometer radius, you have dentists next door,
Next
uh,
one.
5 dentists next door, possibly. So that's the situation. Yeah.
Starting on the same line, uh, there are many young dentists are coming up now. Every other week there is the opening of new dental clinic in the practice,
Hmm.
and suddenly this dentist are like they are saying there is no hope in dentistry now. What advice will you give to this young dentist who are
Hmm.
just starting their careers?
I have to accept and be realistic that, and let's say whichever cities we look at in India and the kind of amount of dentists coming out, it is a tough situation. So that's the first admission there that it is a tough situation. So I do relate and I do empathize with the dentist saying these things, what they are saying. Um, and again, there are two mindsets, yeah, positive mindset and a risk kind of a mindset where people are thinking in a different way and it's not very positive. So I think if you ask me what's my message more than an advice, um, I'm going to say that first and foremost, there are various things they need to learn, they need to get ready with. And earlier days, there was not so much kind of education available. So you came out of your clinic, and either you were going to appear for your MDS examinations, master's examinations to get entry, or you're going to start your clinic. There are only two options. But my career pathway for a young dentist now is you've just come out in your internship or whatever. You need to find the right mentors, clinical and business mentors. You need to align with them and say, my course is not 5 years, my course is 7 years. Give that 2 years to your own personal, professional, social development. Start networking, start visiting probably three different clinics, three different mentors, and say, I'm just going to come and stand and observe. And I'll do everything what you need me to do around you. If you think you want me to uh, do some scaling, polishing, some fillings, and I'm just going to come and learn. And there will be a lot of senior dentists who will actually help them to say, good, I like a learning attitude. I like somebody who is wanting my share of experience. And that young dentist has to actually honestly give those 2 years for either shadowing, observing, learning. And there are lots of things to learn, right? From communication skills to financial management outside clinical zone, plus the clinical dentistry they need to learn. So when they're giving this solid 2 years as their postgraduate learning, that's where their core is strengthening. And when they're observing, when they build the relationship with those three different dental practices and dentists, there is definitely somebody who is going to give them a shake hand to say, come along and let me help you with this first job. Would you like to join? So they are not only being there, but they're actually networking. They're actually doing a job interview, according to me, which is very subtle, which is very informal, and they're building relationships. And as we say in sales and marketing, somebody needs to know you first. Then they need to like you, and then they will trust you. And this is where they are selling themselves into these practices. So that is what I would suggest they do. Their core is strong. They have done short courses, 2-day courses on composites, root canal treatments, crown preparations, veneer preparations, digital dentistry, basics of implant dentistry, oral surgery, minor oral surgery. So there are lots of courses happening around them. So these 2 years, not only are they observing, not only are they shadowing, not only are they being mentored for doing things, they should be doing advanced programs like this, which are 2 days, 3 days, not the huge 1 year, 2 year MSCs. Don't. Now, when your 7 years are finished and now you are somewhere around age 24, that is the time I would suggest to this dentist to say, now look at the horizon. Now look at your ambitions. Do you want to do postgraduate MDS, say, for example? Do you want to travel away to the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, America to do further education or training or job opportunities? Do you want to start your own clinic now and not do any post-graduation? Where is your mind going to? Is it more clinician oriented? Is it clinician and business? Or is it business only? So there are various opportunities, thought processes which will open up. But young dentists probably are not spending these 2 years, which are the core years now, to build. And they're getting into the negativity to say, oh, nothing happens, nothing happens, nothing happens. And the negative mindset sets in. So I'm going to suggest these 2 years are mandatory ones. And people, when they enter dentistry, they need to think it's a 7 year program and not a 5 year program, and find the right mentors to do it. I hope that helps. I know this answer can carry on, but I hope that helps.
I think key to success is patience.
Patience, absolutely. Patience and a correct direction, because sometimes directionless patience is of no use, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm being patient, I'll get the right opportunity. But what are you doing to get the right opportunity is also the big question. Yeah. Where are the efforts? What are you doing when you get up in the morning till you sleep at night? Is there a drive? Is there a passion? Is there a keen fire in you to learn new things? That's the direction. And you need to ask for direction with mentors and ask for help. But patience, absolutely yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Coming back to your roller coaster journey of dental career, starting from the single practice in UK, now you have multiple practices in UK, plus you are having a international. Now it's a I should say it's an international practice with the one clinic in Mumbai. So can
Hmm.
you walk us through the key steps you took to expand your business in this?
Ye-
Years.
Okay. Um, I'll probably just check the question. You want to understand the growth journey.
Growth
You want
journey,
to,
and how did you overcome the challenges and setbacks during the growth of this dental practices?
okay. One key episode which comes to my mind, which is already on the social media, I'm going to relay that to you. And there is a key line coming out of that story. So, practice number one was acquired in 2010. And between 2010 and 2012, obviously, me and Shilpa, my wife, who is a dentist, we went into this proposition at 2010. But obviously, I did not leave my existing job because I was getting more than 120,000 pounds as my salary. So I said to Shilpa, you go in, let's start the practice. I will work remotely and manage the practice so that one salary is coming home and let's not put all the eggs in one basket, basically. So we started and came 2010, 2011. A year later, I started realizing that I have no clue, no knowledge of how to run a business. That was very evident because what I used to do in Mumbai as a small clinic with two people, suddenly all the legislation, compliance, business management, financials, it is a huge game and huge learning curve, basically. So I was sitting in this conference with my coach now for 14 years, Mr. Chris Barrow, and he's teaching from stage. I'm listening to him, and by the end of it, I'm thinking, yeah, this is the man. I need to ask for help. And the key summary I'm giving in the story is ask for help. And there was literally no money in the bank. And I'm asking Chris, and I'm sure Sumit, you have heard this story before. And I'm asking Chris to say, can you help me? And he said, yes. Speak to my secretary, get something booked in. Now I call his secretary, Philippa, and she says, yes, we can help. And first thing before we help is we need to do a discovery day, which means Chris needs to understand your problems. And I'm saying, okay, I know the problems. And she said, no, you don't know the problems. That's what I'm telling you. You don't know the problems. Chris will find your problems. I said, okay, if that's the way he wants to start. And that was 2,000 pounds at that point of time. So I'm thinking and saying to Shilpa that it's 2,000 pounds for Chris to come in and understand the problems. And Shilpa is looking at me and saying, there's not much money left in the bank. We know the problems. So why are you paying someone to let him tell us the problems? So I said, I don't know, but my gut feeling is that we need to ask for help. We asked for help. Obviously, Chris did what he did, and that was magical for our journey. So we moved from practice one to practice two, three, four, five, six, whatever. And every time when the journey has happened, um, just summarizing because I can tell you a whole one day story on this. But to summarize here for audience who's listening to it is um, you start with something like a vision in a sense of, when I say vision, in not in the big sense, but you can see something in front of your eyes to say, I want this to look like this. I want this to do this. I want this to solve this problem. I want this to grow like this. I want to do this because I feel good about it, kind of stuff. So you're dreaming of something. It could be a dental clinic, it could be a tech platform, it could be the network platform. There are various things we have done. And you're thinking, okay, that's an idea, let's do this. So when you vision this or see this, it comes to the next point to say, let's get it to plan. What is the plan? Yeah. When the plan is being spoken about, to say step number one, step number two, step number three. So you start finding the answers for that. Then you come to step number six and say, I don't have the answer. Then you say, okay, if I don't have the answer, who has the answer? Yeah. So your question to me was, how did growth happen? And the revelation, and it's been spoken in lots of books and podcasts and stuff. But one thing I realized is nothing grows to this big size unless it starts there. And one thing I've realized is it needs to start. And then it rolls. Then someone else comes and helps you. Then something else happens, then that helps you. Then it grows, then it grows, then it grows. Then people start seeing it and say, oh, how did you create it? And the journey is always in this small circles, building up, building up, building up, and building up. And when you look back and say, I started with that idea, and how far have I come? Fantastic. And we call it as a mind map. And today is not the day to show this, but say Dentrack, our dental technology platform, started with an idea, started with a pain point for me. I drew something on a piece of paper to say, this is what I want. Then a techie guy came and said, okay, let me build this for you. Then my team came in to say, let's put the content in. Then I found my person one, person two, person three, and suddenly it's a team of 15. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a long journey. I just needed to ask for help at every point to say who will do it. First, you need to know what needs to be done, and then who is going to do it. It's either you or someone else. So people who are wanting entrepreneurial journey, who are wanting to grow, my only message is, if you can see something, speak it out to someone. If you want to do it, take that first step. Somebody else will help you with the second step. Then you take the third step on your own, and so on and so forth. And keep a log of what you're doing. Start with the end in mind is a good way to say, but it's not always clear what the end is. So people who think, let me make it perfect before I start, those are the people who never start anything. So be prolific more than perfect is my message. Get on with it, do it, fail, then succeed, then fail, then succeed. That journey will continue. And there is never a perfect journey or a perfect ending. It's a desirable ending sometimes, and sometimes it's not a desirable ending. So be prepared for a not desirable ending. Have the courage, have the right attitude, and there is a sentence which should come to me, something around uh, failure is not final kind of a stuff, because it's a journey, and as long as you enjoy the journey, that is most important. If you are getting bogged down, dampened, sad in the journey, then just stop it because you're not enjoying it. So for me, people ask me, how can I work 16 hours, okay, a day sometimes? And don't you not get stressed? Don't get tired? I said, yeah, physically I get tired. Yes. Mentally, I'm not getting tired. Sometimes I get overwhelmed mentally, uh, but I'm enjoying it. And because I'm enjoying it, it gives me a kick. Just like alcohol will give you a kick, smoking will give you a kick. Same way, working gives you a kick. And because you have achieved something every minute ongoing, that kick just keeps you going. That's what it is. So I don't know if I've strayed away from the question, but you're asking me what are the obstacles? How did you overcome it? And my ramble through at the moment is ask for help, see something, plan it, take your next steps, and that small circle will start becoming a bigger circle. You'll attract people, you'll attract facilities, you'll attract money, you will attract a lot of people with you to actually make it happen. It's a journey. You start and people join with you. That's what's the key to success.
That was a wonderful, incredible journey, sir. Like you said, it was a 1,20,000 pound you were getting in the beginning, and I heard now you are doing more than 4 million pound by
Hmm.
2024. That's a absolutely incredible achievement in the span of just 12 years. What financial strategies did you implement? I should not say 12 years, I should say rather 10 years, because just you said Chris Barrow met you in, like you met Chris Barrow in 2013.
Yeah.
What financial strategies did you implement to achieve this growth? And can you share the financial management tips that you believe to be crucial for the success of dental practice?
Okay. Good question. And I think people bottleneck on money. What comes first? Shall I earn and then invest? Or shall I borrow, invest, and then earn? That is the catch 22 for many business people, including dentists. Uh, Various ways to look at it, but I think my experience suggests that um, there are a few things. One is right training into what you need to do. Education, that's number one. Time spent on that project or that plan, or your time on the floor actually doing things, that's time. So training and time. And third, which I have always embraced constantly, is technology. So when you're looking at these three things, these have to come first before you actually do something. Otherwise, you're going to fail. Yeah. So failing to plan, planning to fail, as they famously say. you need to do things and you need to invest into something which is going to give you the base. So if you're thinking, I'll just open my clinic and get going with it, and you haven't really invested in it, the returns are also going to be weak. So going back to your financial question, I was sitting with somebody yesterday, and he took his first loan and or borrowing in the UK, and he was quite tense, and he called me to say, I'm really tense. I've never borrowed money in 40 years of my life. I'm 40 and I'm borrowing money. And I said, yeah, fantastic. So what's the worry? Oh my God, now I'm under the obligation that I owe somebody money. Um, and probably that response is what I'm going to share. And I said, why don't you look at it this way? That somebody is helping you to create something unique which you want to do, and that somebody is your friend, and you are thanking him for that, and you are saying, thank you, I'm going to earn now and I'm going to return back your money. And most of the time the friend is a bank. Yeah, a bank gives you the money. So when the bank gives you the money, they want to understand the depth of what you're doing. Is it robust enough? Because nobody wants to lose their money. Yeah. So what's the best way to actually see if your idea, your vision, your dream, your project, your business actually has legs? What is the best way to do it? Go and ask for money from someone else. Because if you have money in your pocket and you're spending, you are the only person telling yourself this is going to work, this is going to work, this is going to work. But when you borrow money, someone else is telling you, yes, it is going to work. What best way to learn this? So you ask me, moving from 1.2 120,000 to 4 million, this journey, uh, what was the financial journey? And the financial journey till date is I've never left money in my bank account. So if somebody asks me how much money do you have in your bank account, I'll say very minimal. What is the point of keeping that money and looking at that money and thinking, wow, I'm rich, I have a lot of money? I would rather use, I'm on a journey. I have the space, I have the time, I have the energy, I have the physical ability to actually work and cover the money. But if I keep investing it back again, and sometimes there is a balance to achieve about money. But I've gone through lot of trouble when there is no money in the bank and you are wanting to pay salaries on the 15th and the 30th, and there are tough times, there are sleepless nights, you're thinking, shit, what am I doing? Where is the money going? But having an education about money, having an understanding about money, and there is no way you are going to invest without earning. In a sense, if you don't have money, you're not going to invest. So borrowing money is, according to me, mandatory. A lot of big business people have already said your own income attracts tax. A borrowing or a lending does not attract tax. So which money am I going to use? I'm going to use borrowed money. Obviously, nobody lends you unless they see legs onto your business plan. And my suggestion is again that you will have to take the risk. There is, otherwise everybody would have been successful, correct, Sumit? Every business entrepreneur would have been successful to say, yeah, this is easy. I'm going to do this, but that's not the case. People who have taken the risk, people who have worked hard, put their efforts in, they have built relationships, they have built trust, they have understood sales and marketing, they have understood team management, they have understood what their product and service is, they have understood. So I have some failures which have happened. When I say failures, is my alignment started going wrong. To say it, I'm not enjoying it, it's going wrong, I'm losing money because I don't understand it. And you come to a point where you think, yeah, let go, let go. And sometimes a good surgeon's uh, strength is to say where to stop and where to ask for help. And that's purely the same thing in financial management as well. You say, how do you do the financial management? Where to stop, where to tweak, where to make sure you're earning correctly, where you're spending correctly, and where to ask for help. That's also very important. Some people don't speak about it and just carry on, and one day just close the business and don't give any reasons. Oh, no, it didn't work. But what did you do to make it work? Did you ask for help again when it was not working? Did you really want it to work? These are various questions which will come to you on this journey. And my answer to that is, if you're not asking these questions, like, do I want this to work? Yeah, is my heart in it? I don't know what to do with the financial management. Shall I ask for help now? Or whom should I ask the help for? And my cash flow, let's use the word cash flow, is not enough. So spending needs to be controlled or down, and earning needs to go up. There is only simple mathematics. 4 minus 2 is equal to 2, but a 2 minus 4 is equal to minus 2. So as long as you have the basics understanding, you're not just going to keep spending. You have to stop somewhere. And that is the key part in this journey, to say, take the risk, put the money in, but have a plan, and borrow money, because person who is giving you the money is another yes to say, yes, Manish, you're thinking right. I think it will work. Okay. So hopefully that answers. I don't have my answers prepared for any questions, as you know. Whatever is coming to my mind and thought, I'm just sharing with you. Hope that is helping.
Yes, absolutely. It's helping a lot. There's a management, moving from the management part of the clinic,
Yeah.
coming to the clinical part. Uh, how do you keep yourself stay updated with the latest advancement? And how do you prioritize this latest advancement in dentistry? And what advice do you give to the dentists who are looking to enhance their skills and stay competitive in the field?
Okay. So clinical skills upgrades, again, which direction you are heading to? Is it restorative dentistry, orthodontics? Every stage of your career has its own needs. Yeah. So I'm probably, since college started, it's year 32. Since I started practicing, let's call it year 27, 28. My uh, suggestion, sharing of experiences, every 5 years is a cycle in dentistry. And every 5 years, you're looking at the horizon to say what next as a clinician. Yeah. So if you have a career span of around 40 years, that's roughly what people do before they retire, 30 to 40 years in clinical dentistry. You'll probably have 8 phases of 5 years each, or 7 phases of 5 years each. And every 5 years, you are broadening your horizons. However, you are stepping out of something, which means you wouldn't do certain clinical skills. You will just shift your scale to do what you're doing. Now, based on that, obviously, you keep your eyes open. You find the right people in the fraternity whom you look up to. Then go on their programs, ask them the next question to say, what's next? They will tell you who their coach or mentor is, then go to the next. So I have had a fantastic journey, and I want to say thank you to Dr. Rajiv Verma, Dr. Ajit Shetty, quite a few, Dr. Anish Navre. So these are the people who have traveled the world. They have embraced the new developments much ahead of time. Um, uh, um, Doctor, obviously, is also one important personality. And he went out to learn implants. He got implant education to India, taught it with Dr. Ajit Shetty. So, in effect, these people are inspiration. So, when you look up to them and you follow them, and obviously, education now is very, very easily available, which is internet, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. So you absorb and then you implement. So one share, which is very important in this question, is when people go for education, there is no plan again after that education. Yeah, because they just go get educated, come back, and then wait for their first patient. So one big tip, and what has worked for me is, and I've said this in my teaching programs, if the course cost is, let's put it as 100 rupees, yeah, and to actually implement that knowledge and actually do the work for 5 patients is another 100 rupees, which means I have to pay the laboratory, I have to pay the material, I have to pay my dental nurse, I have to just put my time in, and that is going to be 100 rupees. For example, when I go on an education journey, I budget for 200 rupees. I'm not just budgeting for the 100 rupees because I know that I want to go and do this afterwards for five patients. And when I have not done it for five patients, those machines are just sitting in my cupboard because I didn't use them. I waited for my first patient. So the key answer or key share is when you invest in education, technology, or whatever, just make sure implementation plan has budgeting done. Don't go into the program unless the implementation plan is ready, and then do dentistry for no cost to the patient. Build your five testimonials, build your five case studies, and your confidence level changes. And the sixth patient automatically comes because you're talking about what you have done. So the growth in the clinical side is because I did make efforts to actually treat my patients with every new knowledge I get. And you're a student every day. You go to work and you learn something new and then use it and share it with your friends, colleagues, anyone. Just share, oh, this worked for me. Has anybody tried this? And somebody comes back and says, yes, I did. And somebody says, oh, that's new. Thank you very much. And then they share as well. So I think this learn, share, and grow kind of a pattern, which is the Dental Business Master Academy key line, purpose line, has absolutely been the important factor in the clinical development for me as well. Hope that helps. Yeah.
Yes, sir. In India, you are actually famous for Dental Business Master Academy more because this is hidden secrets you are actually telling today.
Yeah.
We always say that every dentist is an entrepreneur, and you have fantastic entrepreneurial journey. Having a multiple business, you are diversific. Your portfolio is very diversified with the Dental Business Masters Academy, then dental clinics in Mumbai, this HSB Salon and Spa, then Dentech company. How do you manage so many different businesses and sectors simultaneously? At the same time, when we initially discussed about dentists who are feeling helpless in dentistry, young dentists, and they are looking for diversification, they are looking for entrepreneurial journey. What suggestions you will give, and what entrepreneurial mindset contribute for this growth and success which you are witnessing right now?
That's a difficult question. I think every person is unique, yeah, and every person has their unique strengths, abilities, tolerances as well sometimes, and successes. So, um, how do you spin so many plates at one given time? Um, there are various answers, but I'll pick up the key pointers which come to me at this stages. One is an internal need for me as a human being for growth, um, significance as well, because and love and connection as well. Because when you do something new, when you do something nice, when you grow, people send their wishes to you. Correct? They make you feel significant. Wow, Manish, you did this. You just said this. You are making me feel significant with this interview. Correct? So people give you a love and connection. They give you gratitude and stuff. So sometimes the engineering in a human being is around those human needs. Yeah, growth, significance, love and connection kind of stuff. And that drives you. And then let's use the word passion because when so he's very passionate about it. But it's not just about being passionate about it. He's getting something in return, which are his human needs. That's what it is actually. So being passionate about something and fulfilling your human emotional needs is point number one, according to me, when somebody goes on this journey. Yeah. Second is time and hard work. So the mental discussion or conversation in my brain sometimes starts at 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning. So you're there, you're sleeping, but that idea is buzzing so much that there is a dialogue happening here, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever. And you get up and you say, I need to work on this now. So I don't know how others are, but this is my journey. And then it happens like it's been 16 hours since 5 o'clock in the morning, and somebody has said, "Are you okay?" I'm saying, "Yeah, great day." Yeah. So when you have that expression about, "Wow, great day," is your internal needs have been fulfilled. Your brain is now like, fantastic, got it. I got it, basically. Yeah. And there is a progress. There is a progress, step one, step two, step three. So putting time in, putting hard work in, putting efforts in, that's number two. Number three is people. It is impossible to do this alone. Yeah. And you need to trust your team. That's the key. Otherwise, you can't spin so many plates. And what does trust mean is you need to know somebody who's going to be of help. You need to like them, and then you need to trust them again. Yeah. And when you trust them, you delegate work to them. And yes, I have been a micromanager, I've changed, I'm evolving. But once you trust somebody and you've delegated, you know this person is going to do it, you suddenly, instead of two hands, you have four. Then there are six. Then there are eight. Then there are 20, whatever. It just multiplies, multiplies, multiplies. And then comes the point where you're sitting, where you need to manage the direction. That's all. You need a few things, which is people, your hard work, effort, passion, idea, whatever you want to do. But most importantly, a discipline in accountability. Control. Control and accountability are two different words. Yeah. It's good to have people, but if you don't have control over the team or the direction, and you don't have accountability lines of what's actually happened, is it growing? Is it going in the right direction? Then things can start going wrong. And sometimes hours in the day are not enough. And I'm telling you that when you're on this journey with so many plates spinning, hours are not enough. And you need to recognize the fact that your hours are only limited. Your time on this earth is also limited. So make sure you're supported, you're backed up, you have delegated, and as is said in the lectures, delegate, automate, or delete. So if you have so many plates spinning and you need to do so many things, you'll have to do either delegation or do it yourself, delegate or automate through machines. And if something of that is not fitting in and it's still procrastinated, it's still there, then delete. Yeah. So as you go on this journey, how do you keep this plates spinning? Probably these are the key pointers which come to my mind with time, efforts, passion, team, discipline, accountability, control, direction, and working with a certain end in mind. That's probably the key.
Uh, Sir, a few words about DBM and Dentrack. These two are your most near to heart projects. So, can you please explain a bit about Dental Business Masters and Dentrack?
Sure. So, Dental Business Masters was a sort of idea which developed in 2014, where I was learning good 7 to 9 years in the UK and learning on compliance, business management, ethical sales, communication skills, marketing, social media, and lots of different departments. So I call it 20 departments in dentistry. And I realized when I was speaking to my friend Dr. Samir Bhandari in India to say, he was on a trip to UK and he said, there's so many beautiful things which are happening here, which we don't do in India. Why don't you come and speak to some of our friends? And I said, yeah, fantastic. Why don't you spread the word and let's have a chat? So in 2014, we spread the word. I got my coaches to say, would you come with me to India to speak to Indian dentists? And suddenly we had 150 people attending that seminar, out of which 50 people came on board for that program. And we are currently entering year 9. We call it DBM 9.0. And Dental Business Masters Academy is a platform which teaches offline, face-to-face, online, live, like we are speaking on Zoom calls, and recorded versions for last 10 years, basically, or 9 years. So we are a platform which is web-based, but we do teaching around ethical sales, communication skills, ethical marketing, patient experience, patient journey, how to build the whole sequence for a great patient experience. And then most importantly, business management with systems, protocols, financial management. These are the core topics, and there is much more on team leadership, etc., etc. And then over the 8, 9 years, just going into Dentrack now, I realized education is good, but education without implementation is not helpful. Exactly like my clinical journey, I'm educating, but I'm putting money in to actually do things. And what I realized, the 80-20 rule applied where people were getting educated on DBM, but only 20% were applying it, and that too haphazard. And that's where the pain point built. And I built Dentrack, which is a software, which is a dental business management software. So what you learn, now you can use your team and the technology platform to actually deliver the results, work with what you're doing or you have been educated for, and then track becomes your implementation platform. It gives you control. No, first of all, it gives you clarity on what to do, when to do, who will do it, and how is it to be done. So it trains right from dental nurses to practice managers, everyone on that platform. So you get clarity about who is going to do what basically. It also gives you control. Just as I was saying, you need control, you need accountability, you need a direction. And as an owner, that platform allows you to keep everything running on track. Because if it goes off track, it's a problem. Then Dentrack obviously creates a training culture, which is a supportive culture in your practice where there is lots of training, resources, PDFs, PowerPoints, templates, Word documents, Excel sheets, you name it, from marketing up to dental nurse education. Everything is there on the platform. More than 1,500 resources are in there. So we call it as a culture. Dentrack builds the culture for your practice. That is a training, supportive practice, and there is a lot of help for every role in the platform. Then Dentrack obviously helps you on managing attendance, managing holidays, managing tasks. So you can work with your team and get things done according to priorities or time management. And obviously, Dentrack helps on compliance, which means it is evidence that your work, business management and clinical management, is top quality. So you have to produce some evidence in various Western countries to say you're absolutely quality assured. So Dentrack as a software helps that. So Dental Business Masters Academy, if you look at it as an education platform for dentists, how to manage their business, and Dentrack as a complementary thing to help them run their practice smoothly. Those are two important jigsaw puzzles in my journey and very dear to me. Those are my babies.
The most painful question for all the dentists, whether it is a busy senior dentist or a mid journey, who is in the mid journey, or any newcomer, work-life balance. Uh, how how do you are managing the work and life? And I guess that's a fad in these days, talking about the work-life balance, work-life balance. Everyone is talking about the same every day. And how the Shilpa ma'am is helping you in managing all this stuff.
This question has been asked, and I always laugh because people who know me, they look at me and say, you're not eligible or you're not credible enough to talk about work-life balance. Okay. However, I have a take on it, which I'm going to give. Um, Somebody needs to explain me what is work and what is life. That's question number one. I don't need an answer, but that's a rhetorical question. I'm saying, what is work? What is life? So my take on that is, I was born and I'm going to die. There is this journey. I'm living a journey and I need to be happy in my journey. That's important, correct? I can be happy on my own. I can be happy with friends and family around me. I can be happy just sitting every day and watching television, and that's my happiness. Or I can be working 16 hours a week as 16 hours a day as a dentist, and that's my happiness. So what happens is every individual has their own idea about happiness. So what is happiness for Sumit Firke is not exactly what happiness for Manish Chitnis is. Every age, stage, decade is going to give you different happiness. So when my son was born, what was my priority? What was my happiness was different. My son is 21 years old this year, and he's there. I'm happy about him being there, but is he my prime focus of happiness? Maybe not. So there is something else driving me. And every individual, according to me, is born on his own, and it has been said, and is selfish. He wants happiness for himself. Okay? And there are very many individuals who believe and live for the happiness of others. Okay? But there is also selfishness to say, I am happy because that person is happy. So finally, it boils down to I am happy. So in this journey from point A to point B, what is my happiness? That defines the balance. I'm just going to use the word balance. My body is tired, I need rest. I'm mentally overwhelmed, I need rest. I'm mentally overwhelmed, challenged, and I'm struggling. I need to ask for help from my wife, my husband, my kids, my parents, etc., etc. People, each individual defines what is happiness for him. That defines their balance. That's my take. So there are a lot of colleagues who work only 3 days a week, and 4 days they just backpack, take their family, or they go and enjoy. And a lot of new generation I see, they take a job from Monday to Thursday. That's it. They say my dentistry is done. Thursday night they pack a bag and they go traveling, and that's what they want to do, and that's what they enjoy. That's what they thrive on. And if that is a 4+3 work-life balance in a typical stereotype, I'm happy to say, fantastic, good for you. That's your life. Yeah,
So about a family,
yeah. Um,
family
again,
time, like we can
correct, correct.
include
I
it.
understand. So again, as I said, in various stages of your life, the balance shifts between who is your priority, correct? So
True.
each individual, so I'm not going to say what's the perfect work-life balance. I'm going to say the word balance and I'm going to use the word priority. Where is your balance shifting to depends on what your priority is. As simple as that. If I'm unwell, my priority is to look after my health, and for 4 days I'm bedridden, taking medicines, sleeping in the blanket. My balance is my health. Priority changed. But I've taken my paracetamol. My priority is to do those 5 patients because they will be inconvenienced. My balance has changed. I've gone and done what people called work. Okay. So my take is it's a balance. It's related to your happiness. You are moving from a point A to point B. That's your journey. You need to be happy. If you're not happy, why would you live? Correct? So if you want to live, you need to be happy. If you want to be happy, you need to do exactly what makes you happy. Don't judge your work-life balance based on what Sumit Firke is thinking about you, what Shilpa Chitnis is thinking about me, what my parents are thinking about me. No, my balance is my balance. My happiness is my happiness. I will decide at every juncture of my life what is my priority. And every individual does that. I'm speaking it out honestly. And some people live because they want someone else to be happy and fair game to them. But if they are unhappy living that journey because they are living because somebody else is needing to be happy or somebody else is directing them, then they have lost the balance. That's my take. So it's balance and priorities which will define the journey. That's what it is.
The last question, sir. Uh, what message or advice do you have for aspiring dentists who are aiming to achieve high level in dentistry, and any particular philosophy or mantra that has guided you throughout the professional journey in just one liner?
And there is a story behind this, but I'll give you the one liner. The one liner is be a student till your last day on the planet. And if you have a minute, I'll tell you
Yeah,
who came.
I'm excited to hear the story now.
I was in Brazil. I was learning with Christian Coachman on the digital DSD residency program, and it was probably day 5, and we were like it was amazing experience, what we were learning and everything. And on day 5, Michael, um, sorry, I wouldn't get the name right. Maybe Christian's father, Dr. Coachman, who is 75-year-old, he was there with us. He taught us, he showed his cases, his patients, etc. So he is late 70s. And when I was sitting with him for a coffee and we were looking at his clinic and stuff, and I said, Sir, how do you still keep the energy going, basically? And I came to know that he actually comes to work 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock, 5 days a week at late 70s. And he's fit, he does what he does, and great work, etc. And they're like 7 generations of dentists. So I said, what is it that has kept you going? And that's where he gave this line to say, I just wake up in the morning and like a small child, I feel I'm going to learn something new today. That helps me drive to the clinic. And I think the key summary was be a student till the last day on this planet. And the curiosity as a small child to learn something new, if that stays with you till the end of your life, the balance will stay, basically. Yeah. Once you get bored, once you don't want to know more, the journey starts failing. So I would like to be a student till the last day on this planet.
Thank you so much, sir, for once again, thank you for sharing your remarkable journey and accepting the invitation to share your journey and invaluable insights. The story was not just a success, but it came with all the possibilities that come with the passion, dedication, and strategic approach. As we conclude, it's evident that your experience from navigating challenge to embracing diversification can serve guiding light for newcomers, freshers, and established dentists as well. Wishing you a continued success, and I am also wishing you a continued hand holding throughout my life. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
just to say thank you to all the audience who's watched this for the whole hour, and it's been a humbling exercise again. Happy to share the experiences over the last few years, and just a message out there to say if you have picked something here which could be a key liner for you, I would be so thrilled. And pass the message on, learn, share, and grow. That's the mantra. Once again, thank you to IDA Dombivli branch and Sumit for this opportunity. Very, very grateful. Thank you.